Commander Elena Vasquez stood at the observation deck of the diplomatic vessel Harmony, watching the sleek alien ships maintain their formation around Earth's last remaining colony ship, New Dawn. 3 years had passed since the Zephyrians made first contact, 3 years of careful negotiations, cultural exchanges, and what humanity had believed was genuine friendship. The Zephyrians were elegant beings, their crystalline exoskeletons refracting light in mesmerizing patterns. They possessed technology that made human achievements look primitive, faster than light travel without the need for jump gates, energy manipulation that bordered on magic, and computational abilities that processed information at quantum speeds. When they first arrived at Earth's solar system, humanity had braced for invasion. Instead, the aliens came bearing gifts of knowledge and offers of partnership. "Commander," came the voice of Lieutenant Torres from the communications station. "The Zephyrian fleet leader is requesting another audience." Elena's jaw tightened. She knew what they wanted. The same thing they'd been demanding for the past 6 months, humanity's complete withdrawal from the Kepler 442b system. The irony wasn't lost on her. The very planet the Zephyrians had initially helped humanity locate and reach was now the source of their conflict. "Put him through," she ordered. The holographic projection of Orcs Prime materialized before her, his crystalline features shifting through patterns of blue and silver. When the Zephyrians had first taught humans to read their color languages, Elena thought it beautiful. Now, those same patterns filled her with cold dread. "Commander Vasquez," Orcs Prime began, his translated voice carrying an undertone of what humans had learned to recognize as impatience. "We have been generous with our timeline. Your people must evacuate Kepler 442b within the next solar cycle, or we will be forced to take action." "And I've told you before, Orcs Prime," Elena replied, keeping her voice steady despite the rage building in her chest. "This isn't just a colony to us. Earth is dying. The atmospheric processors failed faster than our scientists predicted. New Dawn carries the last 50,000 humans in existence. Kepler 442b isn't just our new home. It's our only home." The aliens' patterns shifted to what Elena had learned indicated dismissal. "Your species' poor stewardship of your birth world is not our concern. We have discovered that Kepler 442b contains resonance crystals of unprecedented purity. These crystals are sacred to our people and cannot be contaminated by organic settlement." "Sacred?" Elena stepped closer to the projection. "You never mentioned anything about sacred crystals when you helped us reach this planet. You celebrated with us when we established the first settlements. What changed?" "Our deep core surveys were recently completed. The presence of these crystals was unexpected." The careful pause told Elena everything she needed to know. The Zephyrians had known about the crystals all along. They had used humanity to establish mining infrastructure and test the planet's stability before revealing their true intentions. "You played us," she said quietly. 3 years of friendship, of cultural exchange, of calling us younger siblings in the stars. It was all a lie. Orcs Prime's patterns shifted to something Elena couldn't interpret. Perhaps regret, perhaps annoyance. "Your species has value, Commander. We do not wish to see you extinct. We have prepared alternative settlement options on worlds that will suit your needs adequately. Worlds you control. Worlds where we'd exist at your sufferance." Elena's voice hardened. "The answer is no. Then you doom your people." The patterns on Orcs Prime's form turned the deep red that humans had learned meant finality. Our patience has limits. You have one solar cycle. The projection vanished, leaving Elena alone with the weight of her species' survival pressing down on her shoulders. She activated her personal communicator. Torres, get me a channel to Admiral Chen on New Dawn. Priority Alpha. Within minutes, Admiral Chen's weathered face appeared on her screen. Behind him, Elena could see the bustling activity of humanity's last Ark ship. Families going about their daily routines, children playing in the corridors, completely unaware that their entire future hung in the balance. "Elena," Chen said, "I take it the negotiations didn't go well." "They're not negotiations anymore, Admiral. They're ultimatums." She quickly briefed him on the conversation with Arxis Prime. Chen was quiet for a long moment, his eyes reflecting the terrible calculus of leadership in impossible circumstances. "What do you recommend, Commander?" Elena looked out at the alien fleet. 30 ships, each one capable of devastating human technology. Then she looked at the colony ship carrying humanity's children, their artists, their dreamers, their future. "I recommend we remind them why humans survived long enough to reach the stars in the first place," she said. "We've been studying their technology for 3 years, Admiral. We've learned from them, adapted, improved. They think they know us. Peaceful explorers, grateful for their guidance. They're about to learn they made a mistake." Admiral Chen's expression grew grim. "You're talking about war, Elena, against a species that outguns us 100 to 1. "I'm talking about survival," Elena corrected. "They chose deception over honesty. They chose ultimatums over negotiation. And they chose to threaten the children of a species that once fought predators with nothing but rocks and determination." She straightened, feeling the weight of every human who had ever refused to surrender in the face of impossible odds. "Send a message to the colony, Admiral. Tell them to dig in deep and prepare for siege conditions. And send word to every human ship in this system." "What message?" Elena's smile was sharp as broken glass. "Tell them the Zephyrians just learned what happens when you threaten the last of humanity. Tell them it's time to show the universe what humans do when we're backed into a corner." She cut the communication and turned to Lieutenant Torres. "Signal all ships. Implement Protocol Spartacus." Torres's eyes widened. Protocol Spartacus was theoretical, a last-resort battle plan that assumed humanity would never again have the luxury of retreat. "Aye, Commander," Torres said, his voice steady despite the magnitude of what they were about to attempt. Elena watched the Zephyrian ships through the observation window, counting down the hours until the alien ultimatum expired. The Zephyrians had made one critical error in their calculations. They had assumed that a species on the brink of extinction would choose to run. They were about to discover that sometimes, when you have nowhere left to run, you stop running and start fighting.